Now, I'd like to relay a story to you from a friend of mine. And this just shows how bad the quote-unquote system is abused. And we're talking about things like Medicaid fraud, healthcare fraud. Let's just, the government's paying for it. Let's rape and pillage this bill, since they're going to pay for it. That kind of stuff. And he's telling me that he's in law enforcement. They're I guess when they're kind of slow, there's not a lot of action going on, so to speak. Then again, sometimes even if there is, but usually it's when they're slow. No calls to run really, like they're just kind of hanging out. They look at, okay, here's my zone area, and are there any warrants I need to, people who have warrants on them, I need to go grab. And you always go with more than one deputy, usually 2 deputies, whenever you're serving a warrant or, trying to arrest someone for a warrant that's been issued. So he goes, meets the other deputy. Okay, here's the guy. The guy essentially went to one of these rental places where you can like buy, rent to own, or just rent, whatever it is, like Rent a Center or one of these places. I don't know if you guys have those wherever you live, but let's just say Rent a Center, and he gets a laptop. I mean, from Rent a Center, sure, it's going to cost you more than if you went to Best Buy or wherever and paid for it cash, because they're going to naturally charge the hell out of you through interest and everything. But let's just say it's a $500 or $600 laptop, because the guy allegedly said it was a cheap laptop once they got him. But they go knock on the door. He doesn't know that there's a warrant for his arrest. So naturally, he answers the door. They arrest him. He starts pulling one of those, oh, I don't feel good, I can't breathe, like everybody does. Tries to fake it. Well, apparently this guy didn't fake it. Starts sweating real bad, and they can see, his skin color's changing, from what he told me. So they call, for EMS or whatever to come. They come, check him out. The guy, he had like some kind of little heart problem or something, so they couldn't really clear him. He doesn't go to a doctor, so they're like, look, I got to take you to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So they take him to the hospital. Now, this guy's supposed to be under arrest. Okay, it is a felony because it's, I think, over $300, but it's minor, right? I mean, a laptop. But nonetheless, the rules are the rules, so he has to go follow this guy to the hospital and then sit with him, essentially babysitting him, with the guy shackled, his feet shackled with those cuffs, policy, and his arm, one of his arms, handcuffed to the hospital bed. It's policy. And you cannot leave, essentially, this guy's side, even though that's the case, with him being shackled and arm, handcuffed. So, what I didn't realize is, as soon as the cops, interact with you, especially when they're, going to arrest you, if you have any kind of condition that happens, oh, I can't breathe in, I have a heart, anything, the state, in this case, this is Florida, the state of Florida is covering the bill. It's automatic. So this particular guy does not want any check. Don't check me. Don't stick me with needles. Don't do anything. I can't stand it. It's against my religion. The doctor asked him, what's your religion? Jehovah's Witness. Do you have your such and such card? What? Your such and such card. No. What are you talking about? If you're a Jehovah's Witness, they always carry that card. Do you? No, I don't have that. Right, okay, so in other words, you're not. But does a person have the right to tell other people not to stick me with needles and inject me with stuff or take my blood against my will? The guy's fine. His heart rate was low, apparently, but other than that, he was fine. So, and I'm thinking of this whole story, and then I can kind of see where this is going as the story's being told. So the doctor, female doctor, comes in. We really need to put this IV in you. We gotta get some blood. We gotta see what's going on with you. We're doing this for your own good. Nope. I told the ambulance not to put it in me. I don't want you putting it. I don't want nothing. I just want to be left alone. I'll go to jail and everything else. It's fine. Just leave me alone. I don't want to be touched. And there's something I think called the Marshman Act. And she says, I'm Marshman acting you. You don't have a choice now. Huh? Yeah. You've been Marshman acted. You no longer have rights. We're sticking you anyways. We are going to get that blood and we are going to put that IV in you. And I'm going to have to get security in here if you fight at all. And he pretty much said, well, I'm going to fight because I don't want you putting anything in my arm. So they got security and they held him down against his will, and he even cried. Grown-ass man. I'm talking like maybe in his 50s or something, I think, I'm not sure. Somewhere around there. Crying. Being held down and forced. And at the last minute, he says, all right, because they're going to have to now give him multiple shots to sedate him or to calm him down and then do the IV. So at the last minute, okay, I'll let you do it. I'll let you just do the one. I'll let you, And she says, all right, I'll give you one chance. If you fight us, it's over. We're going to do it. All right. So essentially he tells me they let him do it, and they take his blood, and I'm sure that if there's any drugs in his system, it's going to show up in the blood. Which, by the way, was true. It showed up in the blood. Methamphetamines. So maybe that's why he didn't want to get stuck with them needles and whatnot. However, again, this is about personal, private property. If someone wants to put something in their body, that's their business. And what came of this? The guy, when you're talking to him and you see him, he didn't seem high. He wasn't acting high, apparently. So, anyway, here's the meat and potatoes of the story. The hospital knows. Oh, state of Florida's picking this one up. We know the game. Sheriff's deputies here. Handcuffs are on. The state's paying for this one. And they run the living shit out of tests. And every room he goes to, deputies got to follow. He's a prisoner, cuffed to the bed or not. Where are we going now? Gonna do an MRI, CT scan, MRI of him. Well, I'm thinking, as my friend's telling me this, they're gonna scan his heart area, chest area, low heart rate and whatnot, right? I mean, maybe that's what they're gonna do. That's what my mind's thinking. No, they just scanned his head. MRI of the head. Or CT scan of the head. Not his chest? No, just his head. And then after that, they put him in intensive care, ICU unit for the rest of the night. Do you have any idea how much all of these tests, and I asked him, I said, you've done several of these. Oh God, yeah. And I've had to sit there almost all night. My whole shift, practically, almost. He's like, a lot of times they'll come in, and when it's like real nonsense, it's 2 hours, they clear them and you go. They still run a bunch of these tests, but they don't spend any time on it. Like, they're not really looking for something. They just do the test and then say, okay, yeah, go. So I'm hearing that and I'm saying, okay, so in other words, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Let them go. But in this instance, they spent time and some additional tests and then put him in ICU. Nothing ever came of it. The guy was fine. And I'm thinking, this started off as, in my mind, as I'm listening to the story, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 hospital bill. Okay, 10,000, 15, 20,000, probably 30,000 by the time it ended. In my mind, seeing ICU scan, my wife went in the emergency room, because this is also considered that, and he was ambulanced in. Cha-ching. My wife went in because she had like weird little chest, I don't know if it was a pain or just a weird feeling, and she had like a rash thing. Well, she was taking the super powerful antibiotics at the time, and the side effect was exactly that. But she's like, I've been taking them for 9 days and I haven't felt this. And then the 10th and final day I'm supposed to take these things, I feel this. So she went to the walk-in. They said, no, go to the ER. We can't even see you. Go right to the ER. So she goes to the ER, and they do basic tests. They didn't do scans, blood tests. Let me listen to your heart. You know, what are you taking? Oh, the antibiotic. Yeah, that's probably what it was. I mean, yeah, you've got the exact symptoms of what this thing says. Just, you're on your last day. Don't even take it. You're fine. $10,000, please. I'm sorry, what? Did you add a zero to that? No, 10,000, please. We can't pay that. We don't have. This is a while back, by the way. This is before old Jay Snit was making some decent money on his YouTube ads, and I say decent money, like enough to pay my rent. But it's free for these videos I do. I'll take it. You know what I mean? So thank you for watching those ads when they come across. Appreciate that. Ma'am, just fill out this Medicaid thing. My husband works full time. We're not going to get approved. Just do this. Please do this for us. You know, it's not going to cost you any. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Fair enough. We'll fill it out. We'll try. Lady wants me to try. We'll try. You're approved. What the? Approved? Oh, it's that, like, not just Medicaid or Medicare. It's like, okay, you had a major thing. If it's over, based off of your income, if it's over, in your case, $4,500 or something, the state picks up the tab. What? What is this? Yeah, if it's above a certain amount, if it's below that amount, you owe it all in a given month. But if it's over that amount, the whole thing's covered. That's why you wanted us to fill that out so badly. Yes. Okay, well, we did, and it's approved, so they got their money. The question is, did they get 10 grand from the state, or do they have a little deal with them? Like, oh, well, we'll treat you like insurance. It's 6 grand. Don't know. But there's not a chance in hell, even if I had $50,000 sitting under my bed, I would have pulled out 10 and said, here you go, hospital. You want to be fair? No problem. Pay my debt to you. Thank you, kind sir, for spending 15 minutes on my wife and charging me $2,000. Here you go. But 10 for you. Let me put on my stethoscope. Breathe in. Okay, yeah, all right. We check your blood pressure. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, your bottle says. Oh, okay, yeah, you're cleared. $10,000, please. No. So the grand picture of this whole hospital thing that was relayed to me. They do this all the time, especially when they know the state's paying. If the state's not paying, they don't run anywhere near these amount of tests on these people. So I'm Marshman acting you, sir. Oh, that's when the light bulb went off. Ooh. Are you really Marshman acting him out of his best interest? Or are you Marshman acting him out of your hospital's financial best interest? While he's crying, as these two security officers are holding him down so you can stick a needle in him, and then finally admit, it says, okay, I'd rather not have 3 needles. I'll just take the one. I'll accept it, in which they said he did. So now the hospital will Marshman act anybody. And I'd love to find out. Can I pull the records? You should be able to. It's public information, I would think. It should be. At least, like the numbers. How many people do you Marshman act last year? Okay, got that number. How many of those people that were Marshman acted did the state pay for? That's the number I would be real interested in seeing. Because I got a sneaky suspicion If somebody, in other words, if somebody else is paying for it other than the individual, such as the state or an insurance company, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they're going to Marshman Act the living shit out of those people. But any deadbeat who comes in and can't pay his bill and the state or insurance is not paying for it, put him in bed 7. Let him sleep it off. Get out of here, sir. Have a nice day. Oh, what's that? We got one. Sheriff's Office, state of Florida. Oh, get ready for the Marshman Act. This guy's got to get it. So here's where I'm going with this. The final piece I'm going to talk about. A $500, $600, $700 laptop that this man rented and stole and said, I went to a funeral and it got stolen from me. Lives in lives in the bad part of town, renting a room out of a house. It got stolen from me. In other words, I went to Rent-A-Center, I stole that laptop, and I still have it. Because funny enough, my buddy told me, sitting on the bed when they arrested the guy, served him the warrant, was a nice, newer looking laptop. Just gotta throw that out there. But, nonetheless, his story is that, oh, someone stole it from me. We know, you know, he went in there with the intention of stealing that damn laptop, gave the down payment, whatever the hell it was, stole the laptop because he's never going to return it or make payments on it, so he just made up the story, got stolen from me, have a nice day. The rental company, decides, well, we're going to prosecute because we know this game and we believe you have it, so we're going to prosecute. The guy who got the laptop should have called the police and said, hey, this got stolen from me, if it really did, but as you and I both know, it didn't. So yes, thieving bastard, right? Thieving bastard. $500, $600, $700 worth of items, monetary value. Over $300, yes. Felony, yes. The court will deal with you next week, Monday, whatever. Now, can't breathe, I'm sweating. Ambulance comes. The ambulance ride alone probably already covers the laptop value, by the way. Taxpayer will pay that. Hospital, Marshman Act, MRI scan, ICU. Oh! I'm just going to guess and say $30,000. And I might be under, but I'm going to say $30,000 charge in total for a guy who stole a $500, $600, $700 laptop. $500 to $600 stolen from one company just costed the taxpayers of at least the state of Florida anyways, probably $30,000. This is the most reckless spending I've ever even heard about. And I thought the IRS was bad, and they are. A few years ago when I heard how they're using company credit cards, company as in federal government, credit cards to buy things like gym memberships and items for their family and gifts. I covered that story when it happened, by the way. And it was to the tune of, I don't know, $25 million of reckless spending that was found. That's just the IRS. Having said that, I don't think that can hold a candle to someone being Marshman acted and then being sent to ICU and $30-something thousand bill probably that will come of this. You know, you can't hold a candle to that. Because these IRS agents, I don't believe, were spending $30,000 on their credit cards. Gym membership here, $1,000 here, $500, you know. This is so bad. And the other side of it is this. A hospital is a privately owned entity. Okay? It's not a government owned or ran entity. It's privately owned. It has to make money. So how many, quote unquote, deadbeats go to the hospital, don't pay their bill? Remember that story I told you about my wife? $10,000? Deadbeat or no deadbeat, I'm not paying that, and no one will ever. And if you're out there, don't pay it either, because that is worse than highway robbery. But I think the reason they throw out these ridiculous numbers to begin with is because uninsured, or as a lot of people like to call them, deadbeats, come into the hospital. You're a junkie, street dweller, gutter snipe. Junkie, street dweller, gutter snipe. Junkie, street dweller, gutter snipe. Free, 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 because they can't pay back. Free, 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 free. Oh, Marshman Act, state of Florida, $30,000. We got to cover all the losses we just had. All those freebies, we got to cover that all in one swoop. I need $30,000 from you, Miss J Snip, or her name on YouTube was eSnip4 before the YouTube team banned her for not sure what reason really. And Mrs. eSnip4, we need $10,000 from you. Why not like $1,000? I could have got everything done you just did for me for maybe $200. So even if you multiply that by 5 times the normal, 5 times 2 is $10,000. I would have paid that even. Nah, we're going ape shit. We need $10,000. Why? Because freebie, 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 freebie. We got to pay for those freebies. Oh, not we. You. And I've got this handy little tool I can use whenever I need to, when I know someone has insurance or the state's going to pay for it. And it's called the Marshman Act. And boy, oh boy, am I using the living shit out of the Marshman Act only when I know there's going to be a payday. I'm telling you, I'd love to pull the numbers somehow and find out how many people are Marshman Acted. And of those people who are, how many is the state paying for, or an insurance company? And what's left over would be someone who can't afford it, who isn't paying it. So if the person's life's on the line and you really care, you would do the same for them, correct? Even though you know you're not going to get paid, you're still going to do the same. The answer is, we already know the answer. You know it's absolutely gross, negligent raping and pillaging of people, forcing needles in their arms, etc., against their will, so that you can cha-ching. What a sad day in America. That's why when I see the empire crumbling and falling, this is no surprise. This is what happens in a dying empire. People are scrambling for anything, any sense, anything with a pulse. State of Florida, grab him! Little radar on. Insurance car. No, expired. Never mind. Reverse Marshman Act. That's how that works. And now they can force it. We will squeeze blood from a turnip because the state of Florida is paying for it. Sir, we're going to run every test on you that you don't even need, because we got to get paid. Our doctors, our medical personnel, registered nurses, they've got unbelievable student loan debt, medical school debt they've got to pay off. And if we weren't allowed to Marshman Act people and force that money from the other side to our side, we wouldn't be able to sustain what we're doing here. Imagine that. Imagine me, computer guy, IT. I got a little computer repair shop. Bring your computer to me, and I got a virus, or I got this. I'll take care of it. It won't boot. Only check it. Maybe you got a bad motherboard or something. Go ahead, bring it on in, yeah. Take a look at this. Ooh. Yeah, you're going to have to replace this whole motherboard. But first, I want to run some diagnostic tests on this. I want to test your memory. I'm going to test your hard drive, and then I'm going to see if your power supply is giving out the proper voltage. And sir, I just had I only had a virus. Can you just use some software to get rid of the virus? I could, but I really need to run these tests. Is your insurance company paying for this? Yeah. There's a new law called the JSNP Act, and the JSNP Act allows me to forcefully do these tests for your computer's own safety and good. So I'm now enacting that act. Your computer is being JSNP'd, and I'm going to run all these tests on here. You can't say no now. But I just had a virus. I need my computer back really bad. Sorry about that. It's for your computer's own good safety of the rest of the internet. Your computer might have a virus. It might spread it. You have to vaccinate it too. Got to vaccinate your computer. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And that virus is still on there. Here's your computer back. Proud to be an American. Fight for the rights of hospital men. Take care.